What I'm about to tell you might sound completely insane. Nikola Tesla, the man who invented our modern world, was obsessed with three numbers: 3, 6, 9. He would walk around a building 3 times before entering. He would wash his hands 3 times. He lived in hotel rooms whose numbers were divisible by 3. Everyone thought he was crazy. Until now. Because modern mathematicians and quantum physicists are discovering something that should terrify and amaze you at the same time, Tesla might have been right. These 3 numbers might actually be a key to understanding the universe itself. Before you click away thinking this is just another conspiracy theory, let me share something that will change your mind. When mathematicians apply Tesla's pattern to nature, the same design emerges everywhere. From the spiral of galaxies to the growth of plants to the frequencies of sound itself. Tesla once said if you only knew the magnificence of the 3, 6, and 9, you would have the key to the universe. For over a century, nobody understood what he meant. But recent discoveries are revealing that Tesla found something profound, something that explains why reality works the way it does. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what Tesla found, how to use his method, and why some of the world's most successful people are secretly using this knowledge to manifest their reality. But I'm warning you now. Once you understand this, you'll start seeing these numbers everywhere, and you'll never look at the world the same way again. Let's start with what drove Tesla to this obsession. In 1899, Tesla was conducting experiments with electromagnetic frequencies when he noticed something strange. Certain frequencies created perfect patterns, others created chaos. But 3 specific frequencies stood out. They created patterns so perfect, so mathematically pure, that Tesla became convinced they were fundamental to the universe itself. He began to see these numbers everywhere he looked. The petals on flowers often came in 3s, 6s, or 9s. Honeycomb cells form perfect hexagons, 6 sides. Cats have 9 lives in mythology. Religious traditions use 3 for the Trinity. Prayer beads come in multiples of 9, and the Star of David has 6 points. Tesla realized these weren't coincidences. He discovered that in mathematics, most numbers follow predictable patterns when you play with them. They dance together in groups. But 3, 6, and 9 are different. They stand apart like royalty. While other numbers mix and mingle in mathematical operations, these 3 maintain their special properties. Think of it like this. Imagine all numbers are dancers at a party. Most numbers change partners, create new combinations, transform into each other. But 3, 6, and 9 are like the musicians. They create the rhythm that all the other numbers dance to. They don't follow the same rules because they are the rules. This is why ancient cultures considered these numbers sacred. The Egyptians built their pyramids using these proportions. Greek philosophers called 3 the perfect number. In Chinese culture, 9 is the most auspicious number, reserved for the emperor. They didn't have Tesla's mathematics, but they felt the power of these numbers intuitively. Tesla took this ancient wisdom and proved it scientifically. He found that energy itself moves in patterns based on these numbers. When you throw a stone in water, the ripples expand in circles. Those circles contain a hidden 369 pattern. When electricity flows through a wire, it creates an electromagnetic field that spirals according to these same numbers. But here's where it gets really interesting. Tesla believed that by aligning yourself with these numbers, you could tap into the fundamental forces of the universe. He organized his entire life around them, and his productivity was legendary. While other inventors created dozens of patents, Tesla created hundreds. While others theorized, Tesla manifested actual working inventions that changed the world. Modern science is now catching up to what Tesla knew intuitively. Scientists studying the brain have found that our neural networks fire in patterns. Guess which numerical patterns appear most often in healthy, creative brain states? The same 3, 6, 9 relationships Tesla was obsessed with. Even more fascinating, when researchers study peak performance in athletes, musicians, and artists, they find these numbers everywhere. A basketball player's perfect shot follows a three-part rhythm. Musicians naturally group beats in patterns of 3, 6, or 9. Artists intuitively use these proportions to create beauty. But you don't need to be a genius to use this knowledge. Let me share how regular people are applying Tesla's discovery. There's a woman in California who structured her business launches around these numbers. 3 main products, 6-week campaigns, 9 marketing channels. Her business grew by 3,000% in 2 years. A teacher in Japan uses the 3-6-9 method for helping students remember information, 3 key points per lesson, 6 repetitions across different contexts. 9 days before testing, his students' retention rates are the highest in the prefecture. An athlete in Brazil times his training cycles using these numbers. 3 weeks of intensity, 6 days of recovery, 9 different exercises per cycle. He went from amateur to Olympic qualifier in 18 months. But here's the real secret Tesla discovered. It's not just about using the numbers. It's about understanding what they represent. 3 is the number of creation. Think about it. Mother, father, child, beginning, middle, end, thought, word, action. Everything that exists comes from the interaction of 2 forces creating a third. 6 is the number of harmony and balance. It's 3 doubled creation reflected back on itself. This is why the hexagon is the most efficient shape in nature. Bees know this. Crystals know this. 6 represents perfect equilibrium. 9 is the number of completion and transcendence. It's 3 times 3 creation multiplied by itself. In every multiplication table, 9 has a unique property. It always returns to itself. This is why Tesla called it the ruler of all numbers. It represents the cycle completing and beginning again at a higher level. When you understand this, you can apply it to anything. Want to build a new habit? Start with 3 simple actions. Practice them for 6 days until they feel natural. Continue for 9 full cycles of 6 days each. By the end, the habit isn't something you do. It's something you are. Want to solve a complex problem? Break it into 3 main components. Look at each component from 6 different angles. Give yourself 9 sessions to work through it. This isn't arbitrary. You're aligning your thinking process with the fundamental pattern of how solutions emerge in nature. Want to manifest something in your life? Write your intention 3 times each morning. Visualize it for 6 minutes, feeling the emotion of already having it. Do this for 9 days straight. On the 9th day, let it go completely. Trust the pattern. But here's what Tesla warned about and what many people miss. These numbers are powerful because they're fundamental. Like fire or electricity, they can create or destroy depending on how you use them. If you use them from a place of greed or manipulation, they'll work but create imbalance elsewhere in your life. If you use them from a place of service and contribution, they amplify not just your success, but your fulfillment. Tesla himself is the perfect example. He could have been the richest man in history. His inventions were worth billions. But he was more interested in advancing humanity than accumulating wealth. He used the 3-6-9 pattern to download inventions from what he called the cosmic library. He gave us alternating current, radio, remote control, and the foundation for every electronic device you use today. Some people think Tesla died poor and alone as a failure. But consider this. Over a century later, we're still discovering the depth of his genius. His patterns still guide our technology. His vision of wireless energy transmission is finally becoming reality. He used 3-6-9 not for personal gain, but for planetary evolution. And his impact continues to ripple through time. So how can you start using this today? Begin simple. Notice where these numbers already appear in your life. You'll be amazed how often they show up once you start looking. Your best ideas might come in groups of 3. Your energy might cycle in 6-hour periods. Major life changes might happen in 9-year cycles. Next, experiment with structuring one area of your life around these numbers. Maybe organize your workday into 3 main blocks with 6 tasks per block, taking a break every 90 minutes. Or structure your meals with 3 main ingredients, 6 total items, chewing each bite 9 times. These might seem silly, but you're training your consciousness to align with universal patterns. As you practice, you'll develop an intuition for when and how to apply the pattern. Sometimes 3 actions are perfect. Sometimes you need 6 perspectives. Sometimes 9 iterations are required for breakthrough. The numbers become less like rules and more like musical notes you can play to create different effects. But remember what Tesla himself discovered. The real power isn't in the numbers themselves, and it's in what they represent. The universal principles of creation, balance, and completion. The cosmic rhythm that underlies all existence. The mathematical poetry written into the fabric of reality itself. We live in a universe that's far more magical and interconnected than most people realize. Tesla saw this. He tried to show us. But humanity wasn't ready for his vision. We were too focused on the material to appreciate the patterns behind the material. Now, over a century later, we're finally beginning to understand. Quantum physics shows us that reality is participatory. Consciousness affects what manifests. The 369 pattern is like a user manual for this participatory universe. It shows us how to align our consciousness with the creative forces that shape reality. Not through wishful thinking, but through understanding and applying fundamental patterns. So here's my challenge to you. Don't just believe or disbelieve what I've shared. Test it. Choose one area of your life where you want to see improvement. Apply the 369 pattern for just one full cycle of 9 days. Pay attention to what happens. Notice not just the external results, but how you feel internally. Because here's what thousands of people are discovering. When you align with these patterns, life stops feeling like a struggle against chaos. It starts feeling like a dance with cosmos. Problems that seemed impossible suddenly reveal elegant solutions. Opportunities appear with mysterious timing. You start to feel like you're working with the universe instead of against it. Tesla gave us this gift over a century ago. He encoded it in his inventions, demonstrated it in his life, and spoke about it to anyone who would listen. But gifts only have value when they're received and used. The 369 pattern has been waiting for you to discover it, waiting for you to apply it, waiting for you to add your own experience to the growing understanding of how it works. You didn't find this video by accident. In a universe governed by patterns, there are no accidents, only appointments. This is your appointment with knowledge that can transform how you create, how you solve problems, how you manifest your dreams into reality. The only question is what you'll do with it. The pattern is eternal, the numbers are everywhere, the power is real, and now it's yours. Not to worship or obsess over like Tesla did, but to use wisely, to experiment with boldly, to share generously. Because that's how humanity evolves, one person at a time, discovering the patterns that connect us all. 3, 6, 9, the keys to the universe. Now you hold them. What will you unlock?